fucking New Year. Little moonshine apple cider. So I just started up right. Well, hey there and welcome back to another Secondhand Opinions video. I'm Jason Alderman, the internet's favorite fat mouth fat ass, bringing you fat stacks of fucked facts. Yeah, guys, I've been gone for a little bit. There's fuck all going on in the news world out there worth talking about. Impeachment. Well, you know what? Actually, I was wrong about something. I'll throw that right on the table up front and up front first, because I like to do that. Tackle the real shit first. I was wrong. I thought after the impeachment inquiry went nowhere that there would be a cascade of shit. Now, we've seen recently that there's been some calling out of Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi as to what they're doing in Ukraine. I suspect most of what was going on in Ukraine was actually, actually has to do with the Bidens. And I think that the Pelosi's were doing their gig in China. I could be wrong. All of this could be total bullshit, guys. Just speculation. I'm just looking at the chess pieces and seeing how I would play this board out. But I think if you've got Joe Biden and Joe Biden's son doing corrupt shit in Ukraine, you don't really have room for Nancy Pelosi to be in that space. The money's already taken. Between whatever they're doing with the money on Ukraine's end, the politicians that take their fair share or whatever, but then in the end, there can't be 4 Americans on that end of the line sucking on the teat. So I think Nancy Pelosi and Paul Jr. were doing their shtick in China, same as the Bidens were doing in Ukraine. But anyways, I thought there would be a very fast pickup in speed. We're starting to see things like Obama get pointed at a little bit, and Joe Biden kind of dealing with his situation as discreetly as possible. That'll pick back up, but I suspect it's a timing issue. Right now, Joe Biden is no threat to Trump. There is no candidate that has been a threat to Trump, as far as I can see, for a good couple of months, and probably there wasn't ever a threat. Especially not knowing whatever he's got in the back pocket from the Bar Durham two-step. You know, there's no telling how much of what he's got on who. But I bet he's got it all. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in that box. But I know that whole box belongs to Trump. How do I know that? I think the information at other news media outlets like One American News and Judicial Watch of Tom Fenton and Epic Times, other news outlets that you don't look at because you're busy having your ears chocked full of the horseshit sandwich coming out of CNN and Fox News and NBC and all these guys. Don't get me wrong, Fox News runs a fair game. I wouldn't call it straight, but I'd call it fair. Fair enough. Everybody else that we see on the news here in America is just shit. Just total shit. They're all on the same agenda. So it's not terribly surprising, I'm sure, to many of you right now that they're all coordinating. What I think might be surprising to you folks is seeing, like, George Soros' name enter the news recently. I expected that. Now, I expect him to fight tooth and nail to stay the hell out of the limelight and off of cameras and all that stuff. And if there comes to pass that there is something legitimate and legal that they can pin his ass with, he's going to run and hide. He'll just disappear into some foreign country that's a non-extradition treaty country. And he'll live his fat and happy days till the end, richer than shit. And still manipulating his machinations for financial gain and income. No doubt about that. He will just be less hands-on than he already is. So, yeah, I think like the Nadler Schiff Pelosi situation is winding itself around into another coil of the Ouroboros. I think the Dems haven't done anything worth talking about, and everything that Donald Trump is doing that would be worth talking about. It's only worth talking about because he's doing his job. Him putting judges into position is what he's there for. Him, moving the country forward is what he's supposed to do. So whether or not it's a big talk or not isn't really relevant to me. It's sad to see that he's not getting some positive limelight shine. The best we're getting now is the Democratic Party and their cohorts in the news media projecting the idea that this has cost us and that we need to make changes. Andrew Yang coming out and saying, hey guys, this ain't the way to do this or whatnot. Oh, I haven't dug into Andrew Yang, but I don't suspect that his moral bridge is much sturdier than Tulsi Gabbard's, who already broke hers, in my opinion. I put out a few videos on Tulsi a while back talking about how she might be a decent candidate. Now, you notice that I just closed that avenue right the fuck up, and she lost all of my support when she voted to move forward with the impeachment the first time. Now that she voted present. She didn't vote to abstain. She voted present, which is effectively, I'm not going to chime in on this crap. Respect. You should have voted present the first time. But since you didn't, you let me know that under the guise of, I'm not sure, so let's move forward with this bullshit show, because that's what it was, you showed me, and likely many other people across the nation, that your interests are just as shallow as the rest of the Democrats. You are just more cowardly or less equipped for the game or less prepared for the shifting of the gears. You backed impeachment, sweetie. I'm sorry, Tulsi. You shot yourself right in the fucking tits. Like, you won't have any more real conservative support after that. We all know this is bullshit. And that you put it forward from where it was, or helped to put it forward from where it was, tells me that your interest was in political gain, etc. What news media you could garner off of that space. And since that was your objective, not the truth, not America, not liberty, your objective was to fuck Trump to get some coverage so you could bolster your campaign. When you did that, you let me know that was what you did, and you let thousands and thousands of other Americans know that's who you are. Like I said in a video some time ago, you might make Speaker of the House out of this if you play your cards right. But you will never hold any real power because you can't be trusted with it, and everybody already knows it. So that's gone. Everybody's still bantering around the idea of Joe Biden and I guess Bloomberg, and I still see clingers on for Sanders, Bernie Sanders. That shit makes me chuckle. Some of you guys have got real hard on for old Bernie Sanders. You want your free shit, and you don't want to look like greedy pieces of shit to get it. Funny. Why be on board for Sanders with a raging hard on? Because he's had the same bad message for 50 years that no one will elect him on? That he's had the same shit policies for 50 years? You trust this guy? At least he's honest saying that jobs are going to be lost and taxes are going to go up. But he doesn't have an option. If he wants to any more play than he's already gotten in this election run, then he has to show himself to be different than Elizabeth Warren, who is basically Bernie Sanders light in a bullshit wrapper. More bullshit. Yeah, these guys have squashed all chances of doing anything productive, and they won't do anything in the House. They're not doing anything in their positions around the nation. They're pulling shit like Virginia. Yeah, that's a good way to start a real problem. This is fucking Virginia, guys. A few years ago, I hiked through part of Virginia, and I think I made it through Virginia. I know it was in Georgia, and Tennessee, North Carolina. I'm pretty sure a part of it was Virginia. I might not have made it that far. If I know, I went 300 miles from Amicalola. But I tell you one thing I do know. Neither the good old boys that started in the South, nor the transplants from places like Florida, etc., regardless of how Democrat you think they may be, are gonna bite on this whole disarmament red flag bullshit. I'm sure that I look the cookie cutter carbon copy conservative to everybody else. Funny bit, I live in Oregon. Okay? I was a big hippie in my mind space for a long time. To me, hippie, the origins of the movement, was highly intelligent person pursuing individual enlightenment. I thought I fit the bill here. And as a compassionate Oregonian, one who cares about their friends and neighbors, I could see clean avenues to a lot of the spaces, regardless of the slippery slopes we were taking to get there. And then the gun control rhetoric started amping up. And the downpull of societal values and norms started happening. And then we started seeing the peak of the racism and the anti-white sentiment in America. Now you're seeing the news media try to cover up like these, what are they, black Hebrew Israelites that went and shut up this deli in New York, or I don't know who exactly was involved in the shooting in the synagogue. I do know Texas ain't the place to fuck around, guys. And Virginia is kind of Texas small, I think. They're not going to tolerate it. It's understood to be unconstitutional, which makes it flagrantly illegal and just unwarranted in the first place. Nobody here in America is going to tolerate that level of an abuse to any of their God-given rights. Now, you may not like their religion, but the notion was in our paperwork, folks. I am not a spiritual person. I am not a Christian. I do not go to church on Sundays or any other day. I do not look up and worship some guy in the heavens. It's just not who I am. I don't begrudge them who they are. And it doesn't stop me from being who I am, allowing them to be who they are. Yeah, when I run into a town where the courthouse says in God we trust, I think maybe there should be a delineation between church and state here. There's good reasons for those things. But I'm not going to go into the courthouse and scream about how it has to come down or some other shit, get myself arrested for being a dumbass in the middle of some state like Virginia. These people aren't going to tolerate your tomfoolery. You can't just walk in and wipe your ass with all of these amendments to our Constitution. You can't take away freedom of speech. If you remove my right to bitch about a thing, then all you do is put me in a position of waiting to be taken that advantage of that is gross enough to retaliate about. Like that attitude, I'm sure, persists beyond my own space, folks. I'm not the only conservative who's kind of just trying not to interact with society as much as possible because of Antifa, etc., that have no fucking right mind left. Coupled with the fact that they want to restrain our rights, remove our rights. They didn't give us our rights, people. Their Christian God, or your assumed creator, maybe your mom and dad, whatever way you want to look at it, is the bestower of those rights. The same space that allows you the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, life being the first one on the list, incurs your subsidiary right to self-defense. The same right lions and tigers and bears, oh my, have. I would like to see you walk up and negotiate the "you can't murder me today, Mr. Tiger" defense. I want to see you talk your way out of the angry polar bear. Well, society has rules against that. You can't do that. That's your gun control. Your right to self-defense isn't negotiable. When the tiger comes to eat you, you shoot the fucking tiger. When the bear comes to eat you, you shoot the fucking bear. I didn't say go looking for trouble. I said when trouble comes your way, you put a nice hole in it and you leave it for the authorities to deal with. That's not tough to understand. You, whoever you are, don't have the right to stop me from pursuing life. And if you try, you forfeit yours. That is the Second Amendment, people. It's that simple. I don't need to have a hunting license, whether I do or don't. I don't need to have some sort of paperwork giving me permission to defend myself against some would-be home invader who might want to rape and murder my wife and children. I don't need a gun to end the bad guy. I want a gun to stop the bad man, and you do not have the right to stop me from defending my life any way I see fit. Now, on an escalation line, if the bad man comes to do me dirty or hurt my wife and kids, and the bad man is prepared at all costs to do me dirty and hurt my wife and kids, shouldn't I be prepared at all costs to bring the same level of violence to the bad man? Should you as a politician have the right to put my wife and children and my future children, my children's children in jeopardy because you don't like that I have the ability to defend myself from your bad men? Isn't that what this is all about? You don't care about the crooks doing crimes. Otherwise, you wouldn't levy gun control. You'd levy criminal control. You all saw or should have seen what happened in Texas recently. A fellow brought a shotgun into a church. He killed 2 people. And then someone perforated his cranium. Man in the church, parishioner, part of their security education, owns his own range, trains his own time, shoots his own weapons, ends his own bad guy. That's how it should be handled. Disarming that people in that church would have left the psycho with the shotgun to run rampant amongst all those elderly women and children alike. And that's what these politicians want to see. You, defenseless from the bad guys. Else do you become the bad guy? Those are the options. Those are the options the system has wanted for you for decades. They want you either terrified and clean, or registered in the system as a criminal. Those are the only 2 options. There's no room left for you to live another way. You're either on the upper echelons of society, you're afraid of the upper echelon of society, or quite willing to destroy the upper echelon of society because you have nothing. Why do you think the hobos destroy buildings and destroy properties and break up stores and break into stores and throw Molotov cocktails at local businesses? They do this shit because the system protects the criminal and criminalizes the legal. Once you're in the system, they're good. They got tabs on you. They have their rules that say they can take away your rights. They can manipulate your life. They can push you around. Once you're in the system, they got you. If you're not in the system, you better not get in the system, else they're going to get you. And guess what? They want you in the system. Or you're making enough money to be their friend. Those are the only options left. So, all right, boys and girls, enough politics. Let's talk about this guy. I told you I would. So before the year ends up, let's go ahead and move that back a little bit. Talk about this. This is my AR-15 platform. It started life as a DPMS Oracle. And no, we're not going to show you the serial on the other side, but we will talk about what we've got equipped on this here toy. To start off, this is a True Glow 4 reticle 2-color red dot. It's cheap. The whole point of this rifle is to be inexpensive. It's a budget home defense gun. Oftentimes with this budget home defense gun, I will run these two 40 round magazines, coupled together with a mag coupler I got around here somewhere. There we go. I throw this Magpul mag coupler on these 40 rounders, and that makes 80 rounders with one reload. I figure if something goes crazy in my neighborhood, that's probably enough to deal with home security. So yeah, we got our True Glow red dot, and then we have our M-Bus backup sights from Magpul. A lot of this furniture is going to be Magpul because it's lightweight and inexpensive, guys. If you're going to build yourself out an AR platform for home defense or many other things, Magpul makes a lot of lightweight and or customizable gear. And we'll get to that sort of stuff. They make a lot of options. You know, they make 10-round mags. They make the 40-round mags. They make the 30 rounds. They make the 20 rounders. So they make a lot of different, they make forehands and foregrips and pistol grips, butt stocks, and all of it. So we got our True Glow backups, our True Glow red dot sight. We got our M-Bus backup sights. This is the charging handle that came on the weapon, and it's a defense rifle. It's fucking loaded, guys. Like, that's the point of it. So now it's clear. It's all safe for some of you whining Nancy's out there. The trigger is a stock trigger that comes with the DPMS Oracle. However, I did throw the Magpul trigger guard on there because I got these big fat sausage fingers. I'm no piano player. So since I got them sausage fingers, I figured I'd get a little bit wider sort of trigger guard there so I can get in there with maybe a glove on or something. Back here we have the Magpul K2 grip with storage underneath here, which is kind of handy. Inside there I have the Gerber Short Stack Field Tool. It's a handy little toolkit for field maintenance. Allows you to do a lot of different things. There's a buffer tube wrench on there. There's a couple of hex wrenches in there. There's an A2 front side adjustment in there. There's a windage adjustment in there. There's, you know, just a number of things, bolt scrapers and things, specific slots for cleaning your firing pin, etc. So, you know, it's just a handy tool to have tucked away in the handle of the rifle. Here we have a BCM foregrip. It's a Bravo company foregrip, which I have slightly canted forward for a little bit more better purchase and rearward retention. I want a little bit more grip up front and pull back into me. So I have that was what I could get at a local gun shop. Underneath this wrap is Magpul's carbine furniture for up front. It's a two-piece type of clamshell with a heat shield and some M-lock slots on it. I'm not going to peel all of this gun wrap off of here, guys, to show you. Look it up online. It's inexpensive, it's fairly lightweight, and it's got M-lock slots up the front end, or up the sides here. I would say 1 o'clock, 1:30, and roughly 11 o'clock, and then at the 6 o'clock position down here, obviously there's another M-lock run. It's hollowed out up front for a railed gas block. Eventually I'm going to replace this with a floated front end and a low pro gas block, because I have long arms, and I like a forward C-grip situation, and with everything short, it's still, I can reach the front end of this rifle with my hand, and I'm not that I want it out that far, but I want to get a good, stable grip out there, and I want to have stability and retention out there, so I want to put some furniture out there. So we're going to end up replacing this and the gas block and running this free floated out all the way to the front. For a light, because it is a home defense weapon, you'll never catch me rocking most weapons without a light as far as firearms. But I'm running TLR1s from Streamlight. Just their basic model from years ago. It used to be on a handgun, now it's on a rifle. But that's a good light for home defense. It's a couple hundred lumens. It's got a strobe function. I'm probably, don't want to flash you guys too bad, but it's got a constant on switch, a hold it and loose it switch, and then you can double tap it for strobe, which I find handy. Not that I plan on ever clearing rooms, because it's just not my MO. I'm going to make sure that the things that are needing to be protected are all kind of in one general vicinity, and if your ass comes within that vicinity, you're had. That's my MO. Like, if you want my TV, take my fucking TV. I don't own a TV. You want my computer? Come take my laptop, man. You want to come steal my ammo or something? I'm going to be a little pissed off about it, but you can walk out the door with my ammo. What you can't do is walk into one of our bedrooms. You want to come take this camera? Take it. You want the mic? Take it too. You want the battery packs? Take it. That shit can be replaced. You want to hurt my wife? I will perforate you. You want to hurt my daughter? I will perforate you. Everything else can be replaced. It can be taken. Come in, pick it up, walk off. I will wave and smile as you leave. Please, leave. Take the shit and go. But you will not hurt somebody. Anyways, so we got the light. It's a TLR1 Streamlight. It's their bottom barrel, guys. I bought it for $100 10 years ago. Back here we have the ACS, the adaptable carbine stock from Magpul. If you guys don't know, it's got a little storage compartment back here, and in that I keep the CR2032s that go in this, and the CR123s that go in here. And then back in these battery buffer tubes here, I keep a couple of rechargeable AA's for my GPS and radio. So in the worst of scenarios, I should have either nothing at all because it's electrical and I'll be down to my MBUS sites because somebody blew an EMP or some dumb shit. Or I'll have a fully functioning battle rifle for defending my home space with. If you're looking for a budget gun, I think I'm just under $1,000 on this guy here. Is it going to reach out to 1,000 yards? Hell no. Is it going to hunt you a deer at under 300? Yeah, probably. If you can see straight to shoot straight and put a target down, put a round on target where you want, then it'll put a deer down. Would I take it hog hunting? Maybe not. Would I take it hog eradication? You bet. All day. If I was trying to pick one hog out of a herd, maybe. No problem. Shot placement is going to be an important issue there, but don't shoot a deer, shoot a hog. You'll be all right. But as far as like an emergency gun and putting food on your table in a shit hits the fan situation, this guy will do just fine. I mean, out on the West Coast, if you're you're not hunting elk or bear with it, so let's be real. You're going after deer, rabbits, maybe cougar and hog, other game animals like that. I mean, I don't know if you eat coyote or not. I'm sure you probably could. That's about it, guys. That's about all that's been done to this weapon so far. It's like I said, it's about under $1,000. We got the front end furniture on it, Magpul, BCM, Streamlight, Magpul, True Glow, Magpul trigger guard, Magpul hand grip, Magpul buttstock. Oh, Magpul MS4 sling. Not that I really like a single point sling. I'm not a big fan. I'm fat enough it don't hit me in the junk. It's just not comfortable to me. I'd much prefer to have everything in kind of a low ready or a tactical carry comfortable position. So I will only run this in a single point if like I have to get into your truck for some emergency situation or whatever. Again, I'm not in the clearing houses. You're not going to see a whole lot of this shit from me. I'm not interested in that. I mean, if I have to clear a house, sure I can. I'd rather do it with a handgun personally, but that's just because it's a lot closer to me. I can move it a lot faster. And at the ranges that we're going to be at inside of a home or a building, like it's not a warehouse, sure. Apartment or home, no, give me a handgun. I'd rather have something that's much easier to manage in a map platform, a close CQB scenario. I don't want to be jamming this thing into somebody's fucking mouth or something, dude. I don't want to be trying to pop up behind. I'm not Rambo. I'm a fat old asshole with a rifle trying not to get killed in the stupid times we live in. Anyways, I told you guys I would do a little video on the home rifle. That's the guy there. It is, like I said, right around $1,000. I know for some folks $1,000 is expensive. I don't know what to tell you. You can buy the base rifle for $600 or less. You don't need all of the whatevers. You can literally go buy the basic rifle and deal with the slightly more slanted hand angle. I've got some damage to my wrists, so this is nice. In a CQB situation, it's nice to be able to kind of pull up and not have things jamming in here. If you don't know, in a close quarters environment, regular grip angle is slightly more angled back like a Glock. And because of that, close quarters things start getting real tight up into here. But if I can get a little bit more forward angle on this weapon, now my CQB situation is manageable, especially with the two-handed 3-point, contact of the weapon. It's much more manageable if I'm not going to be using a handgun for home defense. That I want it to be as compact as possible, just in case I have to move around the home. If I miss and what wakes me up is not you kicking in my door, but you making my kiddo scream. Now, I'm probably not going to be bringing this into the room at that point. It's going to be the footman's mace. But you get the idea. So, enough about them toys. Part of the reason you haven't seen me making a lot of videos, and why this video I'm sure looks a lot different, is because my camera died. My DJI Osmo Pocket took a huge shit on itself. And we'll see how that manages to rectify itself, if it manages to rectify itself. I bought the camera when it opened. I bought the camera when it came on the market. In fact, my local Best Buy ordered it for somebody on a special order pre-date, and I got it on the 15th instead of the 16th, which it should have dropped on the 16th on the West Coast. So theoretically, I got the camera a day early. I really like what it's allowed me to do with the camera work and the footage that I get with it. I really like how I have the ability to make things control more dynamics. I don't have a zoom, but everything else I have a little bit more finite control over, especially when I'm coming off of a GoPro. So, and this is being shot on my phone here, which was another upgraded investment so that I could edit 4K video footage, which my other camera shoots much better than the GoPro. So the camera had a firmware update a few months back, and after that firmware update, I was getting kind of connectivity glitches. I would connect the camera and the phone together for the first time. This like power session is powering, and almost immediately the system would crash, and I would reconnect and things would be pretty much fine after that. And I just assumed that it was likely connections or something. But after cleaning my phone and cleaning the camera connections and little adapters and things that go with it, it didn't change. So I'm assuming that was part of the firmware issue. It was a firmware issue that I was having problems with. Come December, we have a new firmware update, and I'm excited, hopeful that this new glitch will go away. And they talk about how they've upgraded a few things and made, auto tracking better or whatnot. So I plug the camera and the phone in together, and I go to download the new firmware to the camera from the phone, because even though it's got its own Wi-Fi connection, which I'm sure you could actually, I don't know. Anyways, you got to download the firmware to your phone, and then from the phone download it to the camera. Well, in my excitement to connect those two up and get that firmware moved over, I neglected to wait for it to crash. So it crashed mid-download. Since it crashed mid-download, it restarted itself and told its system that it had 0% battery. And at 0% battery, it needs at least 15% battery to finish the download. So because of their shitty firmware, it crashed in the first place, and because of their continued shitty firmware, it crashed in such a fashion as to tell itself that it no longer wants to function. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, it all happened right around the time that the 1-year warranty was up. So we'll see how they handle it. I'm over $1,000 invested into crap for this camera. So either way, I'm likely to buy another one. However, if I do, expect to hear a lot of bitching about it until I've used that camera up and replaced it with a whole new system, which will cost me an arm and a leg again. I can't do that shit every fucking year. So, yeah, a little less than impressed with DJI right now. I'm hopeful that I'll get the camera sent in here in a week or so, and that when they get a hold of it, they get back to me and tell me that it's simply a firmware issue, which I know it is. It was having no other issues until their firmware fucked it up. And when they get back to me on that, they'll tell me how much it'll cost to fix it. If I decide I don't want to pay that, then they're going to try to charge me $65 an hour for their time. And I'm sure it's like a locksmith that's for an hour, whether they work 10 minutes or 50. So they might get stiffed. If you break your toys that I've already spent a shitload of money on, I'm not going to pay you more to fix them. It's your fault it broke. I'll pay a reasonable fee. Have you look at my thing or whatever. Don't tell me it needs parts or this part replaced or that or other. Don't tell me it costs $300 to boot the firmware onto it, buddy, because I'll just look for some hacker and be like, hey, Fred, can you fuck this thing back into existence? If not, fuck it up, because it's already shit. Anyways, guys, so let's all pretend like our opinions matter and keep putting them shits in the comment below. Remember, this is BitChute, so do all the things. Let's not put the microphone and camera in all that heat there, Bear. Probably not that good for your electronics, buddy. Well, hey there, and welcome back to another Secondhand Opinions video. Oh shit, we ain't even recording, are we?